The ride-sharing moped company Revel is suspending operations in New York City after a second rider dies.
The mayor now says the city will not allow the company to reopen unless it can make the service safer. CBS 2's Lisa Rozner has been demanding answers for the past week. She is live tonight on the West Side. Lisa.
Well, Maurice and Andrea, if you look on the streets of the city, you will find mopeds like this one here on 66th Street still parked throughout. But riders who want to take out these, well, they will be told through the app that the service is shut down. These mopeds came to Manhattan and the Bronx earlier this year as a greener and more affordable way to travel. But we found that no one from the city was regulating how it was doing that. For the last few months, we've seen many Revel riders disregarding the law, riding on sidewalks, not wearing helmets, driving in parks and highways where they are not allowed, and running red lights.
Then you have to go in the corner because you're afraid. The people doesn't respect nobody here.
In Cypress Hills, Brooklyn today, another family mourning. Police say 32-year-old Jeremy Malave died. Police say he failed to properly navigate his Revel moped while traveling north on Woodhaven Boulevard in Queens, approaching 67th Drive, when he struck a center light pole within a center median.
He was a nice guy.
This comes a little more than a week after our beloved colleague Nina Kapoor was killed as a passenger on a Revel moped in Greenpoint, Brooklyn. And it follows a string of accidents, some of which have left at least 2 men in critical condition at a hospital. Doctors at St. Barnabas Hospital in the Bronx say they were seeing it every day.
And we're also seeing a lot more serious injuries, including bone fractures or broken bones, also head injuries that include concussions.
Revel is facing more than a dozen lawsuits in New York for injuries. Daniel Flanzek represents several plaintiffs, including 2 that say they were struck by Revel riders.
He was walking in the closed street corridor, was struck by a Revel user riding through that closed street. One was a gentleman exiting out of his vehicle, was struck by a rider.
The company had been letting users take out mopeds with just a driver's license and an optional learning course. We've spent the last week asking the city why it wasn't regulating the company, and officials kept blaming the state. Today, Mayor Bill de Blasio admitted
folks are using something that in many ways is like a motorcycle without having to have a license like you need to with a motorcycle, and therefore, you know, a certain amount of training and all. It stands to reason that it's going to put people in harm's way.
City Council Speaker Corey Johnson acknowledged the company cannot self-police itself if it opens again.
DOT needs to take a more hands-on and affirmative role in working with Revel and coming up with a plan on how we will oversee them.
And this comes a day after we reported Congressman Adriano Espaillat sent a letter to the state and city demanding it pause Revel's operations. Now, Revel says it is working on safety measures and is communicating with the city. It says this voluntary shutdown here in New York does not apply to other cities where it operates. We're live on the West Side. Lisa Rozner, CBS 2 News.
Okay, Lisa, thank you. It's been another